Hi, everybody. It's CC and JT from the CC and JT Amateur Hour. Over there is CC.
And over there is JT, if it stays that way when we
Whatever it
post
is, that
it.
way. You may notice we're doing something new today. We went out and we got onto Riverside, which is a podcast app. And we're going to talk about why we're doing this. But for us, this is a one-time good deal. CC and I will be going back to our normal setting by sitting at the table after this one. But we've got a pretty exciting podcast to talk about, and I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about this episode. How you feeling?
I feel good. Still
Feel
waking
good?
up, still having the coffee here.
Yeah,
I know, but you get your nifty baseball mug.
I got my baseball mug. Yeah, Jack in the Box, which is usually 100% awesome, dropped down to 90.99999% because they didn't give us two coffees. Oh well, I suffer so much.
It does
Anyway, back to
happen.
real life. So what we'll do, of course, we'll start with our local update, and it's really there's nothing much to talk about. Your book, your Virginia City Romance, is back at Red Adept,
Yep,
waiting for their magic.
yep.
So how you feeling about it?
I'm not sure at the moment. I'm just kind of sitting around waiting. I'm a little disappointed because we did have a cover design, but things happened, so we're going to be restarting that process. So I kind of feel like I took one step forward and two steps back, but it happens.
It happens in writing. It happens a lot. We talked about that last week. And
Hmm.
so you've got it's almost done. It's at the proofing
Hmm.
stage. It just needs to get into
Yep.
the proofing queue at Red Adept. And
Right.
the cover contest you're probably starting maybe what today or tomorrow
Yes. I've
at
been trying to
99
figure out
design.
how to, I want to revise my request to see if I can make it a little bit more of what I hope the final product will turn out to be.
And and I've got a couple of things going on. The third book in the Serving Salvation series is also at Red Adept, but it's going to be like 3 more weeks, maybe four. What is it? Like 4 more weeks until it starts getting edited. And already
Yep.
got the awesome cover design. That's all ready to go. So yay, a little
Yep.
bit there. And Maggie Book 3, I got all the feedback from all the betas. So thank you, betas. You guys are awesome. And I will need to start compiling that. I'll get that over to Red Adept and I'll start getting that with a cover contest. So that'll all be all sorts of fun.
Yeah, because on Maggie Book 3, we do have a very specific date in mind, and we're really trying to make sure we make that release date because we have reasons and we've mentioned them before, but we can talk about them more later.
Right. So that's really it for the book update. Now we're going to talk about some exciting stuff. First of all, the Nevada Authors Network is still going full blast, and if you're not involved in that or you haven't seen what's going on there, what it is our LLC, Two More Books LLC, is partnered with the Sierra Arts Foundation to do interviews, podcasts of local writers who are a member of the Sierra Arts Foundation and have books in the Depot Gallery and Bookstore over in
Mhm.
Sparks, Nevada, and that's going well. We've already got how many do we have in the can? 3 or 4, something like that.
I think we've posted our fourth one. We're about to
Yeah,
post the fifth one.
yeah,
And that is to say, we also interviewed Tia Flores, who's the program director of Sierra
great.
Arts. So that was our first one. But I think we have three or four authors posted. We have a couple more, and then we're going into phase two of our author
Right.
interviews.
So if you are watching this and you have not yet been interviewed for us for the Nevada Authors Network, and again, you have to be a member of the Sierra Arts Foundation and you have to have books over in the Depot Gallery. You meet
Hmm.
that criteria and you want some free publicity. All this is going to cost you is time, folks. If you want some free publicity, jump on our podcast and let's get the word out. And the advantage of that is your books are the podcast is marketed by the Sierra Arts Foundation, by yourself, and by Two More Books LLC. So the outreach is in the thousands. So this
Hmm.
is an opportunity for you. So grab it, grab it, grab it.
And we will say that we have started picking up some new subscribers too. So hopefully this will really broaden our reach for everybody so that we really get the word out there of all the great authors and books that we have that come out of Northern Nevada.
So it's fun, and it's fun.
Mhm.
You get to know your local colleagues, get to have
Yep.
that interesting conversation, and it you know and it's um I can't think of a single downside to it. So come on board again.
Hmm.
You Northern Nevada Sierras Foundation member and have a book in the Depot Gallery. So
Hmm.
win win win. But the next thing we're going to talk about is for everybody who isn't in that subset of
Hmm.
writers. So for years, this is like what is this episode 226? I think is something like
Yes.
this.
Hmm.
This is episode 226. And since day one, we've had writers wanted to be on our on this podcast,
Hmm.
the CCJT Amateur Hour podcast, and we've sort of held it off at arm's length because we wanted to stay within our comfort zone. We wanted to stay within our own little world, so to speak. And well, I think we're ready to expand. Yeah, and that's why we started doing this Riverside app thing is to talk about that expansion. So,
Hmm.
so what do you think so far?
Well, I think it's working out really well. I like it seems very easy because we did do a test um, interview basically with Jacci Turner, who actually does fall into our Nevada Author Network group, but she very kindly agreed to be our guinea pig on Riverside. And she said that it was very simple. You just kind of basically click and go. And the requirement really is that you have a computer with a microphone and a camera and, oh,
Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry.
I know that was exciting. Control
Yeah.
yourself. But basically, the technology, as long as you have a computer or a laptop with a camera and a microphone, hopefully you would have an external microphone because we're working on that aspect on our end. But it just, you sit down and this is basically what you get. You get multiple screens for whoever is being interviewed. So we had three screens going, and then we just sat down and we had a little chat, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I big thumbs up to Riverside for making this very intuitive and very simple. It gives us the option to load it straight up to YouTube and to Spotify, which is our two main platforms. So it's just
Mhm.
awesome, 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 awesome. So it works out well. So what we're going to announce is we're going to announce this. We are going to open the door to writers who want to be on our little podcast.
Mhm.
And it's just we're nervous. We're kind of trembling at this, but I think it's going to be fun. But the format is which I'll write the format in the blog post. But what we're going to do is on one week it's going to be the regular show, the CCJT Amateur Hour, and then the alternate week will be opened up for writers. And so
Mhm.
with this software, it gives us the flexibility to do the interview
Mhm.
anytime during the week, put it all together, and then we'll post it on the Sunday when we normally do our podcast. So
Right.
but boom, boom. Ooh, boy, my hands are just messed up that way, but it's boom, 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 boom. So one week we'll do the amateur hour, and the next week we'll do the writer interview. And I've already put together a list of people who have asked to be on there, so I'll be sending that email out today. So if this sounds interesting to you, you can go to our website at www.carsonhume.com and
Mhm.
just go to the contact page, or I don't even remember what it's called. I think it's contact. It's just contact,
Contact
and
us or something.
something like that. And
Mhm.
fill it out and get in the queue, and I'll reach out to you, and we'll get it all scheduled up. Did I forget anything?
No, I don't think so. It's just that if you are a member of the Sierra Arts Foundation and you have book in the Depot Gallery bookstore, you will be sent over to the Nevada Authors Network because we're going to prioritize that as the platform to promote our local Nevada authors. The interviews that we do on Carson Hume and the CC and JT Amateur Hour are open to anybody who has published a book, and we have gotten contact from people, I think maybe internationally, we're not sure, but it's just kind of broadening that a little bit. And if you are an author who has an upcoming book release and you're doing something specific for that, we will try to work with you on the timing, but we can't really promise anything because this is a new experience for us. And we already do have a list of people who have contacted us. So we can't promise a specific date, but we'll try our best to work with your schedule when we can.
Yeah, we definitely want to be able to post the podcast, the video, and the Spotify, so it is timely to your efforts. And as
Hmm.
CC said, we will do our best, but we can make no promises. We just,
Right.
this is just going to be flexibility, and we ask for your patience and your professionalism as we learn how to do this because as I said, we're kind of nervous. We are introverts. You wouldn't know it by looking at this podcast, but we are introverts. And, a good day for us is not going out in the world. So if this sounds interesting to you, like I said, go to www.carsonhume.com and we can go from there. Okay?
And I don't know if we mentioned, but with the Nevada Authors Network, we did do the first round of interviews at the Depot Gallery and Bookstore. It was a great backdrop, and we all had a wonderful time. But using this Riverside app is allowing us the flexibility to schedule people just on a more, I guess, a flexible schedule because we don't have to all meet up somewhere at a specific time to do it. Just hopefully, whenever we have a mutually agreed upon time that we can just hop on our computers. So for the Nevada Authors Network, we will also be doing the virtual interviews. I don't
Mhm.
know, at some point we might do another round of in-person interviews because I don't know about JT, but I thought that was a lot of fun. And
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I think everybody enjoyed having the opportunity to kind of sit around and chat while they were waiting for their turn to interview. So it was kind of a nice social activity for all us introverted writers.
Yeah,
That I think,
and having this software has already made one person's life because we do have a Nevada author who we
mhm,
are interviewing for the network on Tuesday, and so it's just we're just going to do it, boom, get it done, and
right.
already we're going to be in contact with a writer from Yerington, and if you're not from Nevada, we really cannot begin to describe distances in Nevada. But
Mm.
especially if you're on the East Coast where you can cross, and we did it. We crossed 6 states. Was it 6 states in one
Seven
day?
states. We did 7.
Seven states in one day. Yeah, wow. Uh,
Yep,
so, uh, but Yerington is like what, an hour and a
at
half away
least.
from here.
Yeah.
It's a
And
good distance. So being able to provide a virtual platform for the interview just makes everybody's life so much easier. So we're
well,
gonna have some fun with this.
anybody who's been on social media may have seen there is I don't know if you'd call it a meme, but there is a discussion going around about how Las Vegas just ends. And then, you see this neighborhood and there's a street and then just desert and there's nothing. And that, most people, especially from the East Coast or other countries, think that Reno and Las Vegas, oh, I'll just go to Reno and then I'll hop down to Vegas. And it's like, well, yeah, you can hop down to Vegas if you want to take an hour flight or it's a full day's drive.
Yeah.
So, Nevada is excuse me, a lot of wide open spaces. And the communities, Reno and Sparks are together. Then you have Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Boulder City, they're kind of together. And then there are a lot of open spaces and smaller communities that aren't together. So on the East Coast, things kind of just continue to bleed into each other, but that's not true of Nevada.
Yeah, seriously, folks, for Carson City being the capital of Nevada, it is easier for us to get to Sacramento, the capital of California, from here than it is to go from Carson City to Las Vegas.
Yep.
By driving, it is just so much easier to get to Sacramento than it is to Vegas. That's how big
Mhm.
Nevada is. Okay, so let's to go. If there's any questions about that, again, reach out to our website, www.carsonhuman.com, and hit us through the contact page, and we'll go from there. Now we're going to talk about something fun. We're going to talk about the impact of social media. We're going to talk about basically a certain demographic,
Mhm.
certain demographic of writing. So, Cece, you did something wondrous.
Mhm.
Was it last week or the week before?
It was about a week ago, I think.
Yeah.
And what happened is I did the same question across a variety of social media platforms. And this really reinforced to me the fact that all the platforms are very different and you have to approach them differently. Because on most of the platforms, I put out the question and got crickets, nothing. But on Threads, which actually is connected with Instagram and maybe Facebook, I think, is that a meta platform?
Okay.
Anyway, Anyway, Threads, which JT doesn't really enjoy, but I found that I am having a lot of really good interactions on Threads. And that kind of plays into the fact that I think some people are a lot more comfortable with certain types of social media platforms versus others. So I play around on TikTok, but I don't get a lot of traction on there. Whereas on other platforms, I have a lot more followers and a lot more engagement. And Threads really kind of just blew up with this question. So the question I posted was a question to fellow indie authors. How many of you are more than 60 years old, which JT and I are? I'm really curious as to how many of us are self-publishing in our later and retirement years. And as I said, this one kind of took off. I think in the end, it looks like, based on this, I got 190 responses. That's not 190 likes. That's 190 people who actually went in and, if nothing else, they put up the raised hand, but commented like me or something.
No,
And
but
then,
did you see that it's actually you got 176 likes and
yes.
190 responses. You got more responses than you got likes.
Mm-hmm. And this really seemed to speak to people on Threads because I got a surprising amount of people who are actually quite a bit older than we are, which wasn't what I expected at all. Because on probably the majority of the other social media platforms, it seems like everything skews a lot younger. And
Mhm.
I feel like, I don't really, it's not our crowd sometimes that, even though sometimes I feel a lot younger than I am, there's not quite the connection there as there is with someone in your own age group. And apparently, this really connected with other people in our age group and older. And it was a lot of fun seeing the responses.
And I'm going over the ones that you gave, and you gave one, two, three. You gave out six of these, and but right now I'm just peeking here. I like the vampire response, which is the third one
Yep.
down. That just makes me smile. Why don't you just go down here? Just go ahead and read them.
Okay, so I'll start with the one that you mentioned about vampires. I'm 72. I started publishing 9 years ago when I retired. I've published 6 books in a vampire series and co-authored 6 witch books. The 7th vampire book is being edited now. And this kind of, honestly, I wasn't expecting to hear the vampire witch type of thing, even though I co-authored a couple of witch books with our kids. But I wasn't really expecting someone older than us to be doing something like that. So that was fun.
Hmm.
Then someone else said I self-published my first book at 65, won a few book competition awards, very exciting and rewarding time of my life. Hi, 64 years old, wrote and published my first 2 novels over the last 18 months. Can't stop now. Nice to meet you. Um, this one I really like. I'm 80 now and published my first book in 2011, 2 years after I retired at 64. Publisher went out of business, so republished myself and have a second book in the series coming out soon. There is a third one waiting too in the same series. I indie published my first book at 75. I produced a documentary film at 70, both after retiring. And 59, thank you for asking. So, right on the cusp, I did have some people in their 50s and late 40s who reached out as well. But this one said 59. I'm getting ready to launch my debut series. While everyone is telling me to use social media, the demographic tilts much younger than my characters. Mine's for older millennials, ex boomers who don't typically hang out there. What genre are you in and how are you approaching marketing? So, not only was it a good conversation, but it was kind of a good back and forth too, because I did respond to their questions and we had a little bit of a back and forth as to our experiences trying to use social media and the challenges with marketing, which I think everybody can agree with, no matter what your age. But it was a fun experience because I never have this much engagement on any of my social media posts. Anything, if you try to emulate somebody else who goes viral on social media, you can't really do it. It's got to be intuitive to you and the platform that you're using. And so, like I said, this was on Threads. And it totally surprised me when it started taking off like this. And I know for some people that's not a lot of responses, but that was huge for me or for JT either. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I thought this was a great experience, and I was really happy to see how many people are if they're not retiring. I recently saw someone saying it's not retiring, it's rewiring. So and this is something that I'm kind of feeling right now, even over a year after retiring. I still feel a lot of the, I guess, constrictions that you kind of pick up over the years when you're working full time and you have kids and family and you're thinking, I have to do something at a very specific time, but you really don't have to do that in retirement if you're self-publishing. You can do
Hmm.
things whenever you feel like it. And I think I'm still kind of rewiring my brain a little bit in that area. So I don't know if we want to call ourselves retired or rewired at this point.
What it gave to me is made an amazing amount of validation
Hmm.
that that we are not alone in our endeavors in the publishing world, because it does take a certain amount of gumption. It does take a certain amount of energy. It does take a certain amount of passion in order to be published, self-published, or traditionally published. When you're past a certain age, and that
Hmm.
that we've got some enthusiastic 80-year-olds and 70-year-olds out there doing this is just yay. This is something I can look forward to the next 20, 30 years of my life. Yay.
Well, and that's the thing. We've actually retired what some people would consider early because we're still in our early 60s. And it is, like I said, it is a challenge to kind of reframe how you're doing things. So we're early in the process of building up our little company and building up our podcast and things like that. The podcast was kind of something we fell into, but it is not what we expected, I think. And seeing that other people are doing it too at our age and older is very reassuring, I think, in some ways that
Hmm.
yes, we can continue to do this as we get older. And even as you get older, physically, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to do some things, but writing is something you can do no matter what.
Yeah, and it's something that we do no matter what. So we're
Hmm.
always doing it. It's like for example, is this morning I had a low blood sugar alarm go off on my phone, and so Cece gives me the old shove at 5 o'clock this morning, saying you're got your low blood sugar. So I stumble out, get some sugar, go back to bed. Can't go back to sleep, and I'm thinking about my book, and I realize, ooh, this is an interesting key plot point. So I thought, okay, I'm not going back to sleep. So I get up and I work, I do some key plot inserting
Hmm.
into my book. That's what writers do.
But the nice thing is, since we are on our own schedule now, it's if JT gets tired later because he woke up so early, he can just crawl back into bed and take a nap whenever.
Yeah,
So it's
Grandpa can
not
take.
like we're limited to that time period where you have to go into the office and try to be productive no matter how tired you are. We can actually work around that. And I think based on the responses, it's nice to see that going forward for the next couple of decades at least, probably longer. I just saw a video somebody posted of their 96-year-old grandfather who's still driving his camper around. I mean, we are more vital into our later years now than people were generations prior to us. So, writing is a great thing because we have so much flexibility and freedom to work around whatever challenges life might throw at us.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to, and it's something to
Hmm.
keep us. It has the key word, keep us vital, keep
Hmm.
us moving, and keep us energized. Because I think that it's a fair consensus that there are dark days coming up, and we're going to need something to pull us forward. And for CC and me, it's easy to say it's our little publishing company, Two More Books LLC, and the books that we're going to be publishing under that umbrella. So we're looking
Hmm.
forward to that. And this was a very fascinating thread, and I will definitely put some of these into the blog post, because they're a very fun read, and it's very cool too.
And no matter what your age, it's good to see that writing can be a part of your life whenever. Because JT's grandmother, I know, was writing in her later years as well. She was 92, I believe, when she
Something.
passed. But into her 80s, she was still traveling the world and writing. And she was quite the kick. She was a great inspiration for me, and I'm sure for JT too. And having something like that so close to home was inspiring, but to see it kind of spread out among other people, it was even more inspirational and just reinforced the fact that you don't have to retire and then just crawl into a corner and sit in a rocking chair and, wave at people and tell them to get off your lawn. It's, you can actually do a lot of different things. If you don't like to write, paint, there are so many different things you can do once you are not working in a regular inflexible scheduled job, and you can have another act. Some people
Yeah.
call this like the third act of your life. So it's a great time, really. I'm enjoying it so far.
So far, so good. So far,
Hmm.
so good. Anyway, thank you for doing this, and thank you for posting that because that was just very illuminating, very very fun, and it's really and it's also to see that we are not alone.
Alone.
Alone. I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, I think we pretty much did. We cover our list.
Yeah. You
Oh,
can.
we
I'm
should
sorry.
mention that we have a couple of book signings coming up. One
Oh,
at the end of this
the book
month.
signings, that's right. On June
Yep.
28th, we will be at Barnes& and Noble.
Yep.
Yay. We're going to bring a bunch of books and hope to see you at Barnes& and Noble. We know that we're
Hmm.
going to get family there, so we're looking forward to that. We hope to get to see our colleagues and everybody that basically knows how to spell our name. So that would be awesome. And
Or
then a
knows
week
what name we go by.
and then a week later, we're going to be at the old Shoppers Square site, which is now
The
I
Reno
don't.
Public Market.
Yeah, and it's going to be Art Town, and we're going to have a table there along with Bill Brown and 20 something of our colleagues. Bill Brown being a local news celebrity, so our
Hmm.
personality, I should say. So we're looking forward to that. So back to back book signings, so you can check us out, and we'll talk
Hmm.
more about that as we get later. But for now, you can check out our podcasts and other podcasts. You can check us out. You can check out our resume. You can check out our books. You can check out our link to our bookstore. And you can buy books, please buy all our books, by going to www.carsonhume.com. It's all right there on the front page for you folks. So convenient. So check us out and please reach out to us if you want to be on our podcast. Anything else, CC?
I also think we have links to our social media, our various platforms, or at least some of them on the website. And obviously, we are active on social media. We post just about every day. And if you want to interact with us that way, we'd love to have a conversation with you somewhere out in the social media world. So be sure to follow along with our adventures there too, because sometimes we post random questions that just come to us on a day when we're feeling very not confident in what we're doing. So you never know what's going to pop out in the social media world. So follow us there too.
Absolutely. But for now, we're going to go head out into the world over there, CC.
And over there is JT.
Y'all take care of yourself. Thank you for following along, and we're very excited about this brand new world of bringing writers involved along with us. So this is going to be fun. Y'all take care now. Bye bye.
Bye.